The new Pokemon Unite items are busted, and a lot of Pokemon just got new must-use items, and we're going to be breaking that down in this video, so if you end up enjoying it, don't forget to leave a like and share it with all your friends. Anyone that you know that plays Pokemon Unite, send them this video so they know what's up, and we're going to be starting off with Razorclaw. If your Pokemon is a melee Pokemon, Razorclaw is the new must-pick, and it's so good! It's competing with Focus Band. So Focus Band Buddy Barrier isn't the 100% pick on every Pokemon. If the Pokemon is melee, there is now consideration for Razorclaw. Now you can run both. You can go Buddy Barrier, Focus Band, Razorclaw, pop off, do you, or you combo it with Scopelands. And now that we have these super upgrade tokens and also just a lot more tickets and tokens coming into the game, you're not going to end up with just 3 level 30 items. You could end up at 4 or even 5 once we get to the end of the ranked season, and then if you get Master, you get 20,000 tickets. That's going to be 2,000 upgrade tokens, which is going to be what gets you an item to level 30, and then there's a lot of other events and crazy stuff going on. So now there's actually going to be different ways of building out viable item sets, because Scopelands at level 30, Razorclaw at level 30, pairing those together, 8% critical rate, bonus attack, bonus on hit damage. We also have the critical damage and then the base Pokemon attack scaling. It's disgusting. It's insane. But let's look at Razorclaw, because if you're here, actually you could just go into your game and then see what the item does. But we can also break it down. After Pokemon uses a move, next basic attack deals a minimum of 20 more damage. I think this is also like viable contention for even ranged attackers. Like Cinderace wants this. We also have Greninja. They want this because you go Scopelands, Razorclaw, Buddy Barrier. Still insane. I don't know if getting rid of Buddy Barrier is going to work for Muscle Band. Like, I think Buddy Barrier is still like 110% always pick or Ultra Trolling. Just too much value at Zapdos and Dreadnought fights or Rotom Scuffles or anything like that. But like, in an ideal world, if Buddy Barrier gets nerfed, Muscle Band, Razorclaw, Scopelands then becomes like some kind of go-to set. But then Buddy Barrier is always viable as a counter to that because you're getting so much health to kind of counter out all the crits and bonus damage and whatnot. But there's like a lot of crazy things going on. That's what I mean. Item theory is getting weird, because now there's like interactions between Focus Band and non-Focus Band users, but at least there's different viable items. Either way, next base attack deals a minimum of 20 more damage. So I think it goes 10, 15, 20, depending on how you leveled up. At level 20, it's going to be doing 20 damage. Level 30 just gives you a little bit of extra critical hit rate and attack. Also, it scales with a Pokemon's attack, so if you have higher attack, it still works out really well. When this item is held by a melee Pokemon, basic attacks also decrease the movement speed for a short time, which is why on melee Pokemon, Zeraora, Lucario, Absol, Talonflame, even if they don't have crit in their kit, you still run this for that slow, for that bonus damage, for that on hit. It's a sheen that slows. Now, it doesn't do as much damage, but, you know, rough comparison, absolute shenanigans. Again, now this is like one of the best items in the game, but it doesn't work on mages. However, that's where Choice Specs comes into play. And the interesting thing about special attack scaling is that the extra 10 special attack you get from Choice Specs going to level 30, I don't think you need it. I don't think it matters. You know, don't worry about upgrading that. I'm also going to be doing an item upgrade guide and tier list later today. So subscribe, notification bell, check my playlist, check description. Maybe I'll update that. Cards, in screen, all kinds of YouTube shilling stuff. But Choice Specs, fine getting to level 20. It's easy to get it to level 20. You're going to get more than enough special attack. Increase the damage of moves by a minimum of 60 when they hit. So this is going to be very powerful in the early game. Pretty much every special attacker needs this. Pikachu just got buffed. Ralts got buffed, so now your Ralts landing is going to be a little better. Cramorant ended up nerfed, but I think it's power neutral because Choice Specs makes your early game stronger and offsets. Like, I think Cramorant had to be nerfed because Choice Specs exists and it's a 100% pick on the Cramorant. So if you're using Wise Glasses, turns out Wise Glasses is an inefficient item. I've been bringing this up, and I'm going to kind of bring this up, and I think it still deserves its own like separate video or something. Let me pull this up. Yeah, like there's some weird things. Someone made a Google Doc and then like, is Wise Glasses worth it? No, 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 maybe, no, yes, yes. Use Specs instead, because the overall scaling just doesn't really work. Wise versus Specs, like after 2 scores or 3 scores on most Pokemon, you're getting more damage out of these score specs, but none of that matters because this item is just way too busted on the Choice Specs. So, we got that, and then 60 minimum damage. Patches in the Whirlpool nerf on the Cramorant, and everything just hits and it's crazy. Also scales with special attack. So, everyone got some new fun stuff to deal with and to play around with. Like, if you're going Buddy Barrier, Focus Band, Choice Specs on Pikachu, you're going to have that early dueling power against someone that's giving up the Focus Band for a... Wait for it. Razor Claw Scope Lens. If they don't crit, you might win that trade, and then you can also pick that up, but then your Focus Band goes down. There's a lot... That's what I mean by item theory, where it's like, you need to play around what you have. If you have Focus Band, you need to all-in the opponent harder if you don't see their Focus Band proc, because you have a massive hit point advantage that isn't going to be made up by these items. And if you're not running Focus Band, then what you need to do is, if they proc it, leave the fight, give up. Unless it's a 3v2, unless you're getting like Giga Jungle support, leave it, because you're going to lose out to that Focus Band, don't push anymore. But then you have an advantage for the next 90 seconds where you're just purely up on the opponent because of Razor Claw and or Specs. Now, because Choice Specs scales with your special attack, we don't have the exact numbers, so keep an eye on Pokemon Unite DB, because then they'll like kind of patch it in, you know, Wise Glasses, +7 special attack. Shell Bell is 45% special attack, extra hit points, all of these other numbers and things that just kind of come through. 5-second duration, 30-second cooldown, 14-second cooldown on 4-second duration. So like, we're going to know the exact specifics, but you don't even need to know the specifics now to know that this is nasty. And then it also kind of comes up with something like, 2 Pikachus are dueling. Do you want to be the Focus Band Pikachu that kind of like has the ability to get in there a bit more, get into that auto attack range and try to go for steals and secures that way? And then like Focus Bands just mean maybe you don't get popped in the fight, maybe keeps you alive at Dreadnought, the late game, etc. Synergizes into Buddy Barrier, something like that. Or do you then go Choice Specs with the Wise Glasses? Now this also messes around with the Wise Glasses math, because at 7% special attack, on top of base special attack, on top of Wise Glasses special attack, on top of Choice Spec special attack, then if you have a lot of extra item upgrade tokens, like over the next, like rank season 3, maybe it's worth getting Choice Specs to level 30 and Wise Glasses to 30, and then just having them just kind of feed off of each other and get like super crazy benefits on top of that. Maybe it works. Maybe the math comes out, and then special attack specs is still better. After 3 goals with this, it's a lot of combo damage. But if you give up the Focus Band, you're getting very little damage. However, very little damage, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. Because it's like, oh, now it's 60 more base damage, but then it gets a little bit more passive, but then you're also getting the 7%. So the scaling just like isn't crazy. Let me bring up a quick scaling example. Sorry if this is getting long-winded, but I mean, it's 3 new items, and they already, like, the 3 new items changed the entire thing about the game. Didn't need to nerf Buddy Barrier or Focus Band for there to be different item considerations, except Buddy Barrier is still 100% pick. Also, use your upgrade on that. Make sure that's level 30 now. So, what was I saying? Let's look at a random Pokemon. Because, like, the numbers do get a little interesting. It needs to be a special attacker. Gardevoir. Gardevoir does this damage. Each hit increase. Okay, let's just talk about this. So, you get 3 hits on 77%. So, you know, over 200% special attack at level 6 when you have that. So let's go and look at like a level 8 Gardevoir, if I can find it. Okay, Gardevoir here, level 8, 275 base. Wise Glasses turns that into 325, so we're getting 50. So we're getting like 100 more damage on every Psyshock landing. And then the specs kind of like turn those numbers around. Oh, wait. No, okay, level 10 versus level 20. So, yeah, then it's like, this is the one we're looking at right here, 339. So, it depends on the scoring, but now you're also getting base damage on that, and then things like that. So, it's like, it's very minimal amounts of damage, whereas a Focus Band can heal you for over 1,000 health, and also give you those defenses, and then give you the early game power to maybe even scale, or not die immediately, or not cause your opponent to snowball. So you're getting, like, the Focus Band is just worth more health value than the damage you're doing, and you have to land multiple ability rotations to get the amount of damage that is being negated by Focus Band. But also, it's just, like, extra burst. Maybe that extra burst, even though 200 health in the mid-game isn't a lot because Pokemon have 5,000 health, maybe they just needed that extra, what is that, 4%? Yeah, extra 5% damage to die. So, like, now you're getting secures. Now the game is getting a little bit more fast-paced and a bit more snowball-y. So that goes around playstyles, preferences, much like giving up Razor Claw for the Focus Band. Now you go Wise Glasses, Buddy Barrier, Choice Specs, and see what happens, especially as a higher-scaling Pokemon. So some Pokemon have low special attack. So low base special attack, Specs is going to be better. I'll just post the Google Doc, and then I want to do a separate video on Wise Glasses, but now all the math is messed up. So yeah, busted. Mages got something, Brawlers got something. Now, what about tanks? Or something on weakness policy? Now, you notice I haven't upgraded yet. I don't know what to do with the weakness policy. I don't think that there's a case where you give up focus band and then you put in weakness policy instead. Also, weakness policy is weird because you start gaining attack. Now, it's 0 attack at level 1, so you need to start upgrading it. It ends up at 210 health and then 15 attack. Now, 210 flat health, not as much as focus band, but it does get a little competitive. I'm wondering if this is like, oh, tanks are supposed to gain like stats or something. Weakness policy Blastoise. Probably the play if you're going for rapid spin. Now, they did nerf it towards like you can't auto attack while using water spout while rapid spinning because that was just way too busted. But now like you're still using those AoE auto attacks, and then you're just getting, no wait, no, never mind. I thought it was just raw damage buff. It's just you're raising your attack. So maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it's not a Blastoise item. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out because it's in a weird spot. And it is an attack item, but it's not giving you as much value as a focus band. So I don't see it disrupting that. Unless Buddy Barrier gets like completely gutted, I don't see an opening for the weakness policy as well, because like you're just better off getting the procs from the Razor Claw. But that 2% attack's kind of crazy. And I'd like to see it towards like, oh, Greninja that's ever so slightly tankier, that's still keeping on to its base 15 plus attack, or plus, what would that be, 10 attack at level 20 or something? Like, it's retaining those stats, and then it gets hit to where now it has 10% more attack, so then it's actually gaining like plus 50 attack out of the weakness policy. But if that's happening, then I guess by that state of the game, attack weight's just going to be more flat attack. And then 200 health isn't consequential when Cinderace has something health. Also, we don't know how hard it scales. Like, does it go 2%, 4, 8, 10, and then caps at 5 stacks? Does it give you more than that? So when we get the numbers, it gets a bit more competitive, keeping up with Pokemon Unite DB. But even its current state, like, incomplete information, Choice Specs is busted, Razor Claw's busted, weakness policy is interesting, but I think we're going to have to see a lot of other changes inside the game. I'm trying to think, like, Crustle. Weakness policy Crustle. You're trolling if you don't have Buddy Barrier, but like Razor Claw Scopeland's weakness policy Crustle, 1v9s. Garchomp. Scopeland's Razor Claw, weakness policy Garchomp. Disgusting, because now they just gave, like, I think, like, that's what it's been. These are meant for brawlery Pokemon. Don't think Machamp as much. They just buffed the defenses on Garchomp. Machamp probably finds something else. But it's like, yeah, it has to be to where wherever the attack ends up, like, it's just gonna be like Wise Glasses versus Specs. To where if you're not getting enough attack from how weakness policy works, attack weight is pretty much always better after like 2 or 3 scores, which should be manageable. But attack weight is always worse than Buddy Barrier until the nerf. So kind of keep an eye on that. And then let me go back here. Let me click on a Pokemon real quick, like the Cinderace, so we can just kind of bring some random math together. Attack at level 10, 264, plus that 15. You're also getting some attack from the Razor Claw, which is another like crazy thing about the Razor Claw, because it's a plus attack item. So plus 30 attack, in theory, that gives us to 300. So we're getting another 30 attack, which is 2 to 3 scores on attack weight, plus 210 hit points, which is only 5% more hit points. It's weird, and I think, was there anything else about the weakness policy? Increase grows larger, more times damage received. So yeah, we'll have to see like what the cap is. If the cap is like 20%, okay then. Now it might actually beat out the attack weight. And then, like, you're also offsetting, because, like, oh, someone comes at you with a stacked attack weight, now you're actually offsetting the attack weight by their hit points, and if you get hit enough, then you're actually doing more effective damage, similar to the Wise Glasses versus Focus Band. So item theory is insane now, but now there's actually more compelling items. Weakness policy might be slept on. I think Crustle might crack this item wide open, and I don't know if there's, like, enough shenanigans to stray away from Buddy Barrier and just burst through it, but still think Buddy Bear is kind of a 100% pick. However, these items are always up. Like, weakness policy is going to happen when your night move is down. So, what if it means that, like, before the Zapdos fight, you blow your night move to KO 1 or 2 of them to, like, offset their spawns, lose them tempo, get some comeback experience. You don't need Buddy Bear in that situation if you're, like, just, like, 1v1ing, 1v2ing off of your night move. And they're not using theirs because they're saving for Blastoise. Or not Blastoise. Zapdos. I'm tired. We were all up at midnight for the patch. You know how it is. I'm also making a lot of videos and I did streams and stuff. So now this weakness policy is always online. But they're also getting 40% of their health. So even if you get like plus 100 attack off the weakness policy and plus 210 health, that Cinderace now has a bonus 1600 that you need to chew through. And that's going to be tricky, even with crits. But then you're also getting more, like, there's so much weirdness going on. Like, you'd have to run Scope Lens, Razor Claw, and Weakness Policy. And then Razor Claw also scales with the Pokemon's attack, and Scope Lens scales with the attack. So you could actually get a significant enough hit to trade out a Buddy Barrier if you don't have a Unite move. And if Unite move timings get weirder, that's a thing. Or maybe, again, all this is just like troll theory. Like, it sounds cool, but then it never works inside of games because you always need to be timing your Unite move so you have it for Zapdos. So at the 5v5, you're giving your team 80% health and it doesn't matter and then you win. I don't know. We'll see. Like, if Zapdos gets nerfed, Buddy Bear isn't needed. If Buddy Bear gets nerfed, Buddy Bear isn't needed. If Dreadnought gets nerfed, Buddy Bear isn't needed as much. If that happens, if anything knocks Buddy Barrier down from 100%, then Weakness Policy is good. Until then, Razor Claw beats out Focus Band in some situations, and Choice Specs beats out Focus Band in some situations, and everyone's happy. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.